So this thing's pretty rare. It's the only arc rocket launcher with lasting impression, and now I'm going to show you how to get the best out of it, following up on my Mask of Baccharis Charger Light sort of build. I'm going to be running Taking Charge, Mask of Baccharis, and I'm also going to be running Argent Ordnance mod. Now the best to get out of this is just to run it ×3, so you run 3 of them, and that's the max you can get, which is 35% damage buff, as long as your charge will light. And the buff when you pull your rocket out is going to be called Godslayer Warheads, and what you're going to see here is a combination of my Mask of Baccharis perks, dodging for my arc weapons, etc. I'll go into it a little bit more later on when I break it down. I'm going to be taking full advantage of the Mask of Baccharis perk, 3 times Argent Ordnance, to get a tasty damage buff. And you've got to bear in mind the numbers that you see in here is without no sort of artifact mod as well, because there's a lot of rumours next season that we're going to get a rocket launcher meta, rocket launcher artifact buff. But as you can see there, I don't know if you caught that, 165k was the final damage, but there's a bit more to it than that. The impact of the first rocket is a 41,000, I think it was. I'll break it down now. So as we can see, the first impact is actually 41,608, and then what you're going to see in a moment is the detonation of the first rocket. And as you can see there, in between all that as well is all my little numbers that I'm getting from my super as well. 165k was the detonation. So if I add them two together, which I did with a calculator by the way, because I'm not very intelligent, which is 207,288 total damage. Now what I've done is I've run it with obviously my dodge to reload as well, and aspect called Whisper of Impetus as well, where it reloads all your guns as well. So you could technically get 2 or 3 rockets off in a matter of like 3 or 4 seconds, even like 3 seconds I think I timed it at. But what I'm doing is I'm showing you now all the other sort of damage you can do while your 2 rockets are sort of doing damage. You can stick a wither horde to him, stick him with your rockets, switch to your secondary while everything's sort of going off as well. So the damage potential on this sort of setup and build is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you've got all them numbers that we just said, the 207,000. We haven't even took into account the numbers that we're getting from the Mask of Baccharis, the wither horde, your secondary all at the same time. I mean, there's no way I can break that down like into bits because there's just so many numbers. But it's crazy damage, honestly. It absolutely melts. And what I've got to remember again is just that this season there is no rocket launcher sort of buffs. I think there's a lot of rumours. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think it's sort of indicating a little bit that we're going to get sort of a rocket launcher meta next season. So if we've got like something on the artifact that does extra damage when you hit some other rocket launcher, just bear this build in mind because it's going to be really strong. So I'll quickly touch on the build that I've been running to get the best out of that rocket launcher there, or another arc rocket launcher. But definitely try and get hold of this one, Heretic. It's a really good one, especially with lasting impression. It seemed to do more damage than some of the other rockets that I tested. I tested this with Vorpal, and I also tested a couple of other little arc ones that I had as well, but this one seemed to do the best total DPS over a couple of seconds. So with regards to my aspects and fragments, I've based it purely on rockets, so you don't really need anything in particular. The only sort of thing that you can run that helps you with the slow, because you do extra damage to slow targets with the Mask of Baccharis, which I will leave a link in the descriptions about Mask of Baccharis, because it's quite a long sort of explanation, but I've done a video on it. I'll leave it in there. The 2 sort of fragments that you really want to be running is Whisper of Impetus, so that reloads all your weapons as soon as you hit something with your Shuriken melee, which is really good, especially for, well, it's good for anything, but especially for this because you can get 2 rockets off in about a second. So fire your rocket, hit something with your melee, and then bang, you've got 2 straight away, 2 rockets, and also a run marksman's dodge as well. That reloads the rocket, so you can get quite a lot of rockets off as long as you've got your melee and your dodge. The other one that I like to run is Whisper of Endurance. So that just improves the slow abilities, because that's going to enable you to get the best out of Mask of Baccaris as well, get that extra damage. Obviously Mask of Baccaris, so I'll really briefly touch on it. Arc weapons do increase damage when I dodge for 10 seconds. In the clips you'll see me dodging a lot. That's not for sure, that's because I'm getting extra 10% damage. And you also get an extra 10% damage to slow target, so that's a 20%. And then you also get extra damage on your super when you dodge as well. Like I said, I've got a video on Mask of Baccaris. I run taking charge on that one just to get my charger light up. And then what you need is 1, 2, 3 pieces of solar armor to fit your Argent Ordnance on, and 3 is the maximum. You don't want to be doing any more than 3 of these mods because it stacks out at 35%. So that's how you get your 35% extra damage. So as long as you charge with light, you want to be about 2 charge with light. There's no point in being 1 because you want it to last for at least 2 rockets. So if I had 1 charge of light with Argent Ordnance, that's only going to last for 1 rocket. So if I'm 2, I'm going to get 2 times charge with light. Sorry, I'm going to be able to fire 2 rockets, 2 like charged rockets with the Warhead, Godslayer Warhead perk on Argent Ordnance, that is. So 35%, and then the other stuff you can run, it's entirely up to you. I run Grenade Launcher Scav over Rocket Launcher Scav because I like to stick with a horde a lot to the enemy while my rocket's going off, and then I switch to my secondary, whatever that may be, whatever you want. So you can get a lot of damage potential out of it with various different primaries and secondaries. I mean, if you was getting a lot of special, you could probably switch to a sniper there as well. Maybe even like an arc sniper, something like a Dord, something like that. I think that's arc as well. You can get even more damage. But yeah, I got the sort of short explanation was okay. It's basically just Argent Ordnance times 3 and taking charge just to make sure you've got them 2 charge with light. I hope you enjoyed the vid. Let me know.